Hello stars, this is Luminousz Ztarr. Welcome to the channel. Today's video, well actually before I get to the video, thank you guys and girls so much for being my stars, and if you have recently subscribed, welcome to the Luminousz Ztarr family. Please check the description box below for further details to today's video, and don't forget to like and or share this video. Okay, so today's video, I'm going to be talking about how narcissists and some cluster B personality types, they can actually camouflage how they groom you. Okay, so during the grooming process, it's not as apparent that you're being groomed for narcissistic supply. Now, there's something that's pretty subtle that goes on in narcissistic codependent relationships, and that is concealing the grooming process. So one way that, well actually there are several ways that narcissists and some cluster B personality types conceal that they're actually grooming you. There are some narcissists and cluster B personality types who may condition you, okay, and then before you know it, you're being gaslit, or they may use the neuro-linguistic programming. According to research, those who have narcissistic personality disorder have less developed brain matter that is associated with empathy. Narcissists and those who have a cluster B personality type often show signs of impairments with interpersonal functioning. The narcissist's reptilian brain on narcissism. Next point. By using neuro-linguistic programming as a diabolical tactic to obtain narcissistic supply, the narcissist is able to spellbound others by repeatedly using suggestive words, key phrases, along with a particular tone of voice, while studying perhaps the reptilian systems of others in order to mimic him or her. When the narcissist is successful with this diabolical tactic, most find him or her to be less of a threat at the beginning of relationships. The gaslight technique, combined with the use of neuro-linguistic programming, is the narcissist's trump card, which often ensures that particular emotions will be experienced by the targeted prey. The targeted prey is in a suggestive state, while certain pre-programmed triggers are experienced. What are some of the pre-programmed triggers? Traumatic events, unresolved fears, people, places, and things that remind you of traumatic events, adverse effects of abuse, dysfunctional relationships, and unresolved pain. Once these pre-programmed triggers come up for you, it is at that time that the narcissist has influenced you to be in a suggestive state. They can also start to gaslight you at this time, because now, in a sense, they have hypnotized you. They have you spellbound. So you're more open to the narcissist and a cluster B personality. It's a little bit eerie when you think about it. There may be signs of prior trauma. There are some cluster B personality types, such as narcissists, who may look for prior signs of trauma. This way, they don't have to gaslight as much, and they don't have to condition a person as much before he or she actually thinks that, they're primed for narcissistic supply. There are some narcissists and cluster B personality types that may introduce you or someone else that you know into a narcissistic relationship. How does that happen? Well, flying monkeys. Sometimes they will use enablers to lure you into the narcissistic relationship, because maybe you've gone no contact. Maybe you have been successful with going no contact for quite some time. Sometimes narcissists and some cluster B personality types, they will recruit flying monkeys, and they will recruit enablers in order to lure you back in, or to hoover you back into a narcissistic relationship. So this way, you're not very clear as to being groomed, but actually you're being groomed for further narcissistic supply. Let's just say you've gone no contact. Okay, maybe you've been successful with this for quite some time. Due to the recent events, for instance, they may try to use that as a way of hoovering you back into a narcissistic relationship. They may recruit flying monkeys. They may recruit enablers to check up on you. Okay, but really this is a ploy or a way to hoover you back into a narcissistic relationship. So be mindful of that. This is why I say right now, and due to light of everything, recent events, please take care of yourself. This is not the time to be overly stressed about how to take care of your narcissist. You need to go ahead and take care of yourself right now. And of course, I wish you the absolute best on that. Another way that narcissists and some cluster B personality types may camouflage that they're actually grooming you for narcissistic supply is if there are unresolved issues. Okay, that can be childhood trauma. That can be unresolved pain due to a heartache or a broken heart from the past. This may be one of your exes who may be a cluster B personality type. If those issues are unresolved, some cluster B personality types will look for signs that you are still hurting over something that you haven't resolved yet. Okay, so one of the ways that you can resolve that is to release energy. Release heavy energy that you really don't need right now. Now, there are some cluster B personality types, such as narcissists, that may, how can I say this? They may look for safe victims. A safe victim is a person that a narcissist or a cluster B personality type has already been studying for a while, and they notice that that person may be isolated. Okay, they may not have a lot of friends. They may not have a lot of family who love and care about him or her. Okay, so that's a safe victim. To some narcissists, that's a person that they can use for narcissistic supply, and no one's going to intervene, if that makes sense. Okay, so they look for safe victims. This is another way that he or she may camouflage that they're actually grooming someone for narcissistic supply. Okay, so be mindful when narcissists and some cluster B personality types try to introduce you to people who have a cluster B personality type, because some cluster B personality types, such as narcissists, they will do that. And this is what I was talking about, the flying monkeys. And sometimes they will use enablers. Now, not all of those individuals have cluster B personality types, but don't be surprised to find that some of them do. Betrayal can be another way of grooming a person into a narcissistic codependent relationship. How so? Because that can constitute for an unresolved issue that is still painful. Maybe the betrayal took place years ago. It may have been the narcissist or the cluster B personality type in question that may have betrayed you. Maybe not. It may have been someone who later turns out to be a flying monkey of the narcissist or cluster B personality type. It may turn out to be someone who later down the road ends up being recruited by your narcissist because they are an enabler of your narcissist. This can be a family member. This can be a friend. This can be someone who is your ex. It could be actually your spouse or someone you're currently romantically involved with. So betrayal is another way of camouflaging that narcissists and some cluster B personality types are actually grooming you for narcissistic supply. There are some narcissists and cluster B personality types, and I really want you all to pay very close attention to this one, because this one is very subtle if you really think about it. There are some narcissists and cluster B personality types that will use scapegoating as a way of camouflaging or concealing that they're actually grooming you for supply. And you know, just say a child who has been scapegoated in a narcissistic family, and they grow up to be an adult. Now, during their childhood, they have been groomed for further narcissistic supply. So not only will they use as narcissistic supply as children, okay, because the grooming process started there, but as they grew up into an adult, they're still supplying a narcissist or cluster B personality type. Usually this is within a family setting. Not all the time, but usually. See, a lot of narcissists and some cluster B personality types, they actually conceal that they are grooming someone for narcissistic supply because, of course, they're taking care of their false self-image, which can be from a saint to a martyr to a victim who cannot catch a break in life. So their case is blown if it's very apparent that they're grooming someone for narcissistic supply. So don't sleep or don't underestimate how not only neuro-linguistic programming can be a part of the process, but also scapegoating. A person, if they're scapegoated, he or she may have cognitive dissonance, okay? They may be in denial. If they are faced with any clues that the narcissist or cluster B personality type is grooming them for narcissistic supply, who wants to believe or who wants to think that they've been groomed for years on end to be narcissistic supply? A lot of narcissists and some cluster B personality types, they often deny, okay? They deny scapegoating. Of course they're going to deny it because they don't want their cover blown. They're taking care of their false self-image, which can be anywhere from a saint to a martyr to a person who's a victim who cannot seem to catch a break in life. That's the same person that doesn't want to be discovered, of course, that they are narcissistic supplying someone, they are grooming someone to use them as narcissistic supply. They don't want their cover blown because as soon as everyone finds out who he or she really is, they're not going to have any narcissistic supply. Okay? So there are several ways that narcissists actually deny scapegoating people. It is cognitive dissonance. The cognitive dissonance plus the denial equals the narrative that they tell themselves in order to handle reality or their reality. Okay? So he or she, they may create a particular image of you in order to tolerate you long enough to get the narcissistic supply from you. Okay, so cognitive dissonance and denial, as well as trauma bonding. Codependency, that's another way that narcissists and some cluster B personality types deny scapegoating. They don't want to even look at it, yet alone they don't want anyone else to look at it. So this way they can continue to get the narcissistic supply. So we want to be mindful of how narcissists and some cluster B personality types, they will conceal the grooming process. Just think about it. If they conceal the grooming process or is not as apparent to you or anyone else, they can continue to get the narcissistic supply, sometimes for a lifetime. And this is also how they keep enablers as well as flying monkeys around him or her. They have a constant supply, okay? And this is how, because they're so masterful, some of them anyway, at concealing or making it not as apparent that they are actually grooming someone for narcissistic supply. But say if you discover or it becomes very clear to you that your narcissist or cluster B personality type has been grooming you for narcissistic supply, and so now the party is over. Say you go no contact or you at least contemplate going no contact, right? This means now you realize that you are outgrowing the narcissistic codependent relationship. So I wouldn't suggest you confront him or her and say, aha, I got you, right? I wouldn't suggest that. But let's just say you start to notice certain things. One of the things to be mindful of, actually I'm going to say the number one thing to be mindful of is that narcissists and some cluster personality types, they cannot handle the truth. Okay, just think about how they have a false self-image. A lot of narcissists and some cluster personality types, they have a mentality that will not allow them to digest the truth, yet alone handle it. So keep that in mind. Okay, so if you notice something and you know that you're outgrowing the narcissistic codependent relationship, mum may be the word. Okay, you may just have to keep that to yourself or talk to someone that you do trust. All right, like a mental health care practitioner or a mentor or someone else you may trust, but not the narcissist. I would suggest I would advise against that Do not confront a narcissist or cluster B personality type if you should find out that they have been grooming you for narcissistic supply. Tool number 1, incorporate a healthier lifestyle. Okay, especially in light of the recent events. Please take care of yourself. Make sure you get enough rest. Okay, maybe drink a little bit more water, go out in nature a little bit, have some me time, do some yoga, meditation, prayer, whatever, right? Light some candles, play some music, write, journal, do all these things. Just relax, okay? Do whatever you need to do right now that is constructive, of course, to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Tool number 2, make sure you have a support base. A support base is not just going to a mental health care practitioner, but if you have that, yes, by all means, continue to do that. If you have a mentor, if there's a place in your community you can go, such as a YMCA or to the gym, or go out to the park, meet some friends or something like that, right? Have a support base. Tool number 3, try to become more comfortable using your voice, okay? And I do mean literally. Sometimes when we are in when we are in narcissistic codependent relationships, we're not being very vocal about how we feel, what we think, what's going on with us. That's because the relationship often discourages it. But I want you to take some time out to learn how to use your voice. Become a little bit more vocal. Practice. That way you're gaining a little bit more momentum. Okay, you're getting your mojo back. You're gaining a little bit more confidence. Your self-esteem may be raised. Okay, all of this will help you to know yourself a little bit more. And you're open enough for other people to get to know you too. Narcissistic codependent relationships often discourages these things. It likes to keep you isolated. It likes to even have you feeling alienated, if not outcast. So I want you to go ahead and learn how to use your voice for a change. I'm Luminousz Ztarr. I certainly hope everyone has enjoyed this video. Again, check that description box below. And I want to go ahead and remind everyone, please, in light of everything, take care of yourself. Make sure that you're not stressing out. The last thing you need to do is stress out over the narcissistic codependent relationships. Okay, especially in light of everything. That's just more stress. You don't need that. Okay, so again, I'm Luminousz Ztarr. Thank you so much. Until next time, take care of yourself and come back and see me. Mwah!